everybody. It's Gwen from Proof of Africa. Today, we're going to talk with Ahmed, who created ANQA Pool. How are you, Ahmed?
I'm, I'm fine, Gwen. How are you?
Super good. So we're going to switch directly to the questions. And I'm going to start by asking you if you can tell us a bit about you, who you are, who you come from, your background and stuff.
Okay. My name is Ahmed Oladele. I'm, I'm a Nigerian. I'm a software developer, a father as well. I have been doing software development for over 12 to 13 years now. I major basically in the Java technology stack. I currently work for a fintech company, perhaps the biggest in the country, um, InterSwitch. Um, I'm a Chelsea football fan. That, that's it.
Okay, so actually, like you worked for already a long time in this IT ecosystem.
Yes. Yes.
So that's cool. So like everybody know a bit who you are, and then my next question will be towards blockchain and what can blockchain and Cardano bring to young Africans for you? Because I think also as a father, you also have an idea of what's going to come next, right?
Into that. So basically, as an African, blockchain will bring more transparency to the way we do things here today. Um, Cardano coming in with the identity framework, the on-chain governance will give us a lot of identity in terms of being able to access infrastructures easily, more transparency and more freedom. We see a lot of regulations, a lot of misappropriation of funds and different kind of things that the government do today in Africa. Also behind the fact that we cannot account for what they do today. So blockchain being a transparent system would definitely give us more transparency into the way governance is supposed to run. And with Cardano, especially with the Atala prism, it will give us more ability to be able to identify each and every one in terms of identity management for each citizen of the country. So blockchain will definitely improve the African ecosystem that is trying to create a system, because today we majorly don't have a system. So with blockchain, we would be able to create a much more advanced or transparent system for everybody.
Okay, so actually like your idea right now, it's really about like this transparency that brings blockchain can bring to people, which is actually not necessarily only good for Africa. It might be implemented everywhere, but I think
Yes.
that from the several discussions we had with several people, the problem now in Africa is like, as you say, there is no such a system or something like which works for everybody. So that could allow a lot of people to have access to this thing. And in terms of so we talk about identity, and do you see other field that could be disrupted by blockchain?
Well, I know blockchain is definitely going to disrupt a lot of things in Africa. Even the monetary policy in terms of what you keep, how you even keep your money, how you do your transactions today. So quite a lot of third party um, involvement that blockchain can actually solve. So there are quite a lot of things in terms of supply management, in terms of micropayments, quite a lot of use case for the blockchain in Africa, which are not existent today. So it's a perfect opportunity for it to be harnessed.
That's actually a very good point you made in the fact that everybody has to be created. So it's like a very interesting field. Um, Now I would like to turn a bit more into Cardano. Um, so perhaps you can tell us a bit why you joined Cardano and why you decide to become a Cardano SPO, Stakepool Operator?
Okay. I think I learned about Cardano sometimes in 2017 through a tweet by a guy or a company called Waze Rating, where they were rating Cardano as a B plus chain then, talking about the peer review and the scientific approach that Cardano is taking by building something from the ground up. I stuck around, bought some at 80 cents on Binance, then kept it, left for a while, joined a different chain. But sometimes in 2019, I got a newsletter. I think I subscribed to a digest or something. I got a newsletter from the IOHK, then stating about how do you want to participate in becoming an operator? How much ADA would you pledge and all of that? So I did fill the form. I submitted the form then. So it was interesting for me to see that you can actually become an SPO with so little as 4 gigram, 8 gigram of hardware requirements. I felt this was different from what I've seen from the other chains. And I became interested because it actually gives me a chance to actually start something. And with the fact that I have the IT experience and the IT skills to be able to run that, it was quite easy. So all I needed to do was to save up like a certain amount that would cost maybe $500 for 6 months and run the pool. So that's why I did. I joined the ITN in the second epoch, and I've stayed ever since. It's been a roller coaster journey.
So actually, for you, what was interesting at the beginning is the fact that it was accessible, right?
It's accessible and it was cheap for me to join.
Yeah, because I think it's one of the main problem. Everybody has heard about like mining Bitcoin and all this kind of thing, but it costs a lot of money. And if you want to do something viable, you need to invest a lot, which is not necessarily. So it's not easy in Western countries. So I guess it's not it's not easier in Africa. So I think it's one of the interesting stuff with Cardano. Perhaps you can tell us a bit more, but about the fact that actually it's been designed to be used by a broader audience, right?
Yes, so it's a system where you don't really need to be technically efficient to actually run. Um, I would say with the price action, it's becoming a little bit more expensive now for new players to join. You probably need to have a lot of cash. So for Africans today, I think it's still the cheapest to start to join the ecosystem because as of today, there is no minimum pledge, which means as an African today, all you need to do is to guarantee a small hardware infrastructure of a minimum of 8 gigram and that, and you can still play with the minimum pledge as long as you can market your pool to get delegation. That is not obtainable elsewhere. I have tried to compare with other blockchain. You don't easily get access to the ecosystem with so much, as in with so little resources. So I think for Cardano, it's been built in a way where it is open and free to play as of today. It is the most open. I usually coin a phrase and say the most open and free to play decentralized network.
Okay, no, that's really interesting, and I think it might be also a good way for IOHK and the ecosystem to onboard more people. The fact that it's actually still until now accessible, because as you say, there is not minimum pledge. So pledge has an importance. So if you can pledge more, you might get like better rewards, but it doesn't change much so far. The only entry barrier, if we can say, it's perhaps the 500 ADA that you need to create the pool.
True, true.
So of course, like now, because the price increased a lot,
Yeah.
it's a bit more difficult, but it's still doable compared to like run a node on other blockchains. So yeah. So my next question would be for you to explain us a bit more your adventure into Cardano. And for you to explain us, why did you choose to create a pool, and what is the purpose behind it? What do you want to achieve with this pool?
Okay, so I think as a programmer, as a software developer, I would naturally want to create more easier infrastructure for other developers to be able to join the ecosystem. And I think the next set of applications would run on the blockchain. So the pool has the purpose of creating hubs across the country, starting from the southwest part, which is where I am from. So the purpose of the pool today is to create hubs where developers can create different decentralized applications, where we can train them as well, and where we can onboard and create seminars and conferences, meetup and hackathons. So we've been able to spin up one in Oyo State. We are looking at securing another acquisition in Lagos State. So we will be creating pools, at least minimum of 3 states. We have one already, 2 to go. So we want more delegation to be able to use the rewards to be able to create this kind of infrastructures. So I would say our purpose today is to create an environment for developers through the rewards that we get from being an operator. And we've been doing that. I did a video recently that showed the current state of the infrastructures that we have.
Yeah, actually, I think it's one of the thing IOHK Africa is promoting and wants to push is the creation of those hubs, because it's something which is different from the Western world, in the fact that in Europe, for instance, or in the US, it's easy to have a good connection to internet, good electricity and stuff, but it's not the case in most of the places in Africa still. So like
That's true.
creating those hubs would be able to make people able to actually learn, to have a space to meet and to exchange their ideas and stuff. And in terms of organization, do you know already how you would like to work? Are you gonna provide the space and some content for the people to learn? Are you gonna hire them? How do you have an idea of how it's gonna work?
So today, the space is going to be provided where we also welcome different types of developers to come and do their workstation from. So what we will do is we want to partner with, so the first thing is we're going to employ operators, people that will be operating the centers. These are going to be Cardano facing operators in the sense that they will be the one responsible to interact and do the seminars and trainings where necessary, strictly based on Cardano, since this is what we are initializing with. So the design is to get an operator on board where we can then teach. So we would do alliance with guys like the Lovelace Academy, the ABCD guys, where we can have a common course on Haskell development, Plutos, and different types of technologies where we can train. So I had a different idea of creating a course framework where we can actually take that to private schools and go sell this to a particular grade and say that every year we would want students of this particular grade to come to our hub to learn about this for 3 months. So the whole design is not fleshed out yet because we're not fully operational. But those are the designs, or these are the ideas that we have in mind. So the idea is to be able to create a course framework that we can take to schools and say this particular grade we think can grasp this. We will offer to teach them for free for 3 months. What this means is they will have to choose a day, maybe 2 days or so, to come to our hub to learn this. So, but it's not fleshed out yet because we're not operational. But these are some of the things that we have in the pipeline.
Okay, yeah, actually, I think it's also the kind of projects that's going to build little by little. You know, you're going to host first like cohort of developer, and you're going to adjust the thing little by little. And I really like what you say about the fact that you are already in touch with other Cardano member or Cardano community member who would like to do things similar. You talk about Lovelace Academy, you talk of ABCD, which is as well in Nigeria, but in another province, another state. So I think it's good actually to gather resources instead of like everybody doing his little thing in his corner, you know, by himself, like gathering resources to develop those curriculum. I think it's a very good idea. So I think that you are already in touch with Josh from ABCD. Do you know a bit like if you already
Yes.
have ideas of things you would like to develop together?
So we had a call recently where we discussed it, and we're supposed to maybe do another call and come back with ideas of how we think we can collaborate to make our efforts be unified.
Yeah, but I think it's a really great to hear that actually things are being done. You know, like people are trying to work together. As I said, I think from in every episode of the interview, for me, like it's really something important to have people working together. Um, so I think it's now clear what you would like to do is like you created, so you enter Cardano, you created a pool because it was kind of, if not easy, accessible. You learn since the ITN, and now with the rewards you're going to generate, you're going to use a part of it to actually sustain a hub first, and then others, in order to be able to train people. So I think it's really cool. Now my other question would be to discuss a bit, do you have the apps projects in mind? Because I think that at the end of the day, what you would like to do is like train people, but also allow them to create stuff, right? To create things on the blockchain and things that will be useful for people in Africa, like to meet local demands, right?
Yes, so I do have different ideas. I think all of this can only be realized when we actually have the resources that will work on these ideas. So because we will need developers. So the first stage is to be able to give developers an environment where they can work. Then we can train them. Then we can now start talking about the different ideas. In terms of Dapps, I have a proposal submitted about the identity framework. My thoughts exactly is one can actually do so today. If you want to do any form of financial registration, even non-financial related, you will need to provide an identity to the system that you're interacting with. So if I want to open a bank account, I'll need to put in my details where they will need to do verification and all of that. So the question is, I'm thinking of an idea where you can do a KYC bank. What that means is we can register you and have your details in terms of your identity on the framework, on the blockchain, for example, which we will then create APIs where the banks or the insurance company or the money market guys can then interact with. So all I need to do is to create an OAuth integration with them, where if I want to sign up and create a new bank account, all you need to do is to authorize it from your phone and say, share my identity details with this organization. So we're trying to. So I believe with simple dApps like this, you could onboard a lot of people into the blockchain without them really knowing that they're actually interacting with blockchain.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what you just say about the fact that now it's super technical blockchain, but we have to consider that if we want to reach mass adoption and a lot of people to use it, it needs to be kind of transparent. they don't necessarily need to know that they are using blockchain. We just
Exactly.
need to create the right products for them to use, but they don't necessarily know that it's powered by blockchain. I think
True.
it's and do you have other, because like, so it's on the, let's say, financial part of the economy. Do you have other ideas of, if not the apps that you would like to create, but perhaps other ideas you would have, or fields where the apps might be useful in Africa, especially, or in Nigeria?
So I tried to explore one recently around the metadata on the Cardano blockchain, where you could actually do a private public key encryption or authorization for a school or for a university or even for different types of organization. So for example, I would want to say I graduated from a certain university. How can someone else verify that this is true? Usually what they will do is they will send like a letter or an email from the verifying organization to the school to verify that this particular student claimed that they graduated from this. I would say this can be solved by creating like a public identity, and for every um, student that is being that has graduated from a particular school, will actually create a like a metadata on the chain for this set of graduated students and put this data there where this is publicly verifiable, where all they need to do at that point is to pay the price of that either for that transaction to, to submit at that point, where this can be referred back to. And all you need to do is to use the public key of the university to decrypt that metadata. As long as it gives you the valid value, then you will be sure that this guy actually graduated from this. But like I said, there are quite a lot of other ideas, but the fact that we don't have the infrastructures yet, we're not really ready, so we can't really explore some of the things that we have in mind.
Yeah, I think it's one of the problem is like, yeah, having ideas is good, but we also need the resources to develop them.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, it's interesting. So like, you are really focused on things related to identity, right? It's one of the thing that is interesting for you, and I think that we all are waiting for what Hetala Prism is going to look like exactly, and what they're going to develop, because I think there is a lot of things that we can plug on this solution, or create things based on those principles. So I think that we all are really in a hurry to hear from that.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Um,
I'm actually waiting for the news that will come out of Ethiopia, or is it Kenya? I'm not even sure where the news is coming out from. So we want to see how that plays out.
so yeah, so I think that we covered a lot of things, so from like who you are, like why you decided to work on blockchain, and why especially on Cardano. My last question would be, what would be your advice to African devs who would like to join the ecosystem? What would be your advice for them to, what to learn, or what would be the entry point, or all this kind of thing you can share with the people? I think it would be really useful.
Yeah, so my advice is that this is an opportunity for us to recreate and redesign the way of life. Today, no African is happy with the way the government is running things. We would all like to change this, and blockchain gives us the best chance as of today to rewrite a lot of things. We can rewrite quite a lot of everything from the monetary thing to the governmental things, and every other aspect of our life can be rewritten using blockchain. So this is a perfect opportunity for us. ANQA Hub is here to also give you that platform for you to be able to develop and create this kind of applications that we know. I know that these applications will disrupt the next set of the next decade. So that would be my advice. This is an opportunity for you to create something unique and something diverse, something that will change the future generation.
That's awesome. Like, I really like your way of thinking, and the fact that now like people everywhere in the world, but especially in Africa, like they can seize it. It's open, like, and there is a lot of people with great skills in Africa as well in terms of IT, and so it's not recognized yet, but they need to come and seize the opportunity.
True. It's still early. I think we are all early, and I think this is the time to actually build for us to really change the things that we complain of. There are quite a lot of things that the government do today that we cannot control. And the fact that the government has the ability to control what we do in terms of being able to seize our money or to do whatever they want, print more money at will, and all of that, all of this can change by us building on the blockchain. Today, the government is already scared of the cryptocurrency in Nigeria that they've actually banned crypto in the country because some certain opponents are able to fund or to raise funds using Bitcoin. So I think this should be a wake-up call for us all that blockchain presents the best opportunity for us to fight against the government. And by developing on the chain, we create more seamlessly interactive applications that people can use and exist outside of the government.
Yeah, I think it's like it's really the point in this is like, even if you agree or not with government, it's not really the point, but it's like with this it's transparent, so whoever is in charge, they would be accountable for things, and we can see through what it is, what's behind. And I think it's one of the most important thing. So I think we covered almost everything we wanted to say, and especially with what you said at the end, I think it's really interesting for people to know that it's time. Like, obviously, things going to be built on blockchain in the coming decades, and we're still early. So it's time to learn. It's time to think of ideas, because I think it's also important. People need to know that there is the technology, but you need ideas to build on this technology. Technology itself is good, but you need things to be build on top of this. And like,
Exactly.
I think that it's also a great chance for Africa to come and to tackle the issues that are there, and not only just take things that have been done somewhere else, but like creating things that will be needed on the ground.
True. True. So we need identity to be able to connect all of this together.
Okay, thank you very much, Ahmed. It was a real pleasure. I think it was really interesting, and we're gonna come back to you soon as the hub is open. So perhaps you can give us a tour, and we can continue to discuss about it.
No problem. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate this. Thank you so much. And I'll definitely reach out to you when we launch the which will happen pretty soon.
Perfect. That was a pleasure. Thank you very much. I wish you a pleasant day, and we talk to each other soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye. Thank you.